All right, boys, it has been a while, but I did promise I was going to do an origin first impressions video, so here it is. This is not my first try doing this. I've tried about 7 times, and every time the video was way too long and I got way too sidetracked. I'm gonna try and keep it very simple in this one. I like the game. Okay, if you just want to hear the very short answer, I like the game. There's a bunch of things I dislike, way more things I dislike than I like, but I like the game anyway, right? The base feel of the game, well, not the feel, but the base idea of the game, visually it's super good. Combat, it now has clocked after extensive testing on and talking to some people, but I like the game. Now let's talk about it. First of all, visually, the game. Oh, yeah. Well, if you enter and leave a city, or you teleport into like a very distant place, it tends to do this. But which we can talk about first. Performance-wise, game horrible. I cannot see this game running on mobile ever. These are other players, by the way, what you're seeing here. And I cannot see the game running on mobile ever. The game is already running on PC and PS5, and even like AAA titles like Elden Ring, honestly any game you can ever think of, there's always performance issues between PC and PS5. Like think like the Batman Arkham, one of them, Arkham games was unplayable on PC, but it was completely fine on PS5, right? I think Gotham Knights, same thing. I think it was fine on PlayStation, but it was like horrible on PC. So them having performance issues like this, I don't know what it's like on console, makes sense, right? Because other devs can properly, like a lot of times, do it. I do hope they figure it out though, and they fix it, because a game like this shouldn't be difficult to run. And not the game runs bad the entire time. There is just a lot of drops and a lot of areas where your FPS will just get cooked, and a lot of times, and I'm gonna show you clips of this, you ult with like 2 characters in like a fight, and then all of a sudden you're cooked. But regardless, that's performance stuff aside. Visually, the game is stunning. It's so beautiful, right? I'm not gonna read it one to one what I wrote down, but the game looks really good. I really like the visuals of this game. The effects, everything look good. Like if I just show you her doing her dragon, let me switch so you can see it from the front. I think this is good. I like the arts. I like the type of style of effects and everything they went for. Very pretty, very vibrant world. The scale of everything is great. Like cities are huge. It's not like in Pokemon towns or even in Elden Ring, like the Royal Capital, for example, or in Genshin, all the towns like Mondstadt, for example, like the main one that this one very evidently mimics to a great extent. Those towns feel tiny. Like they look great from the outside. You're like looking at, okay, this is this big town. You go in, you're like, okay, the houses are as big as me. No way, like there's more than one person living in it, if even one. And the city takes 2 minutes to traverse the whole thing. They're usually tiny. There's like 5 NPCs or something in there. This game's like Leonis feels great. When you go to the fairy kingdom, the fairy forest, the tree looks great. Everything is ginormous. The Great Demon was huge. The scale of everything is so big, and it gives this world this like real feel. This is my favorite thing about the game by far. The design of the world and the way they did everything. Some areas look a little lackluster, but like areas are huge and they have caves, and then you can go inside of some places and everything. It's so sick. The animations of stuff is rough. Climbing somewhere and then climbing multiple times is bad. Dashing somewhere is bad. It feels bad. Dashing in this game feels horrible. Okay, because the way you run is you don't hold shift, you just press dash once and then you're in a dash motion. You can even like stand still for a second and you're still dashing. You don't consume stamina. You see the stamina bar below my HP bar. You need stamina for this, but you're fairly slow, right? But for this, they have mounts. Okay, you have mounts that you can use. Okay, but you dash once on them, you're out again, right? And then you'd have to call them out again, and it's just annoying. To me, it's very annoying. There's mounts for flying, there's mounts for everything, but I don't have like all my slots filled yet. But movement wise, the game feels really bad. Climbing stuff, like your stamina feels super limited sometimes. Moving fast, you don't really do ever. Dashing takes so much stamina, which feels bad as well when you're traversing. I don't like it. Okay, and another thing I don't like about the animations is the normal attack animations on some characters just takes ages. Like this is my whole normal string, and I actually don't mind this. I think this is okay because it looks kind of cool. right? But if we go to Gila, and I'm gonna cover this later, but if we switch her back to her main weapon, which the lands obviously, if we go boom, then look at how long it takes for me to go from the first one to the second one. This guy might think I'm recording because my name is Grand Cross for Life, so he might be like, oh, there's someone. But boom, this is her normal attack string. Boom, and then the third one. And this, by the way, this attack string and her sword and shield one are both just the gun lands and the sword and shield attack string from Monster Hunter. Well, this one's just worse, but it's for sure the one from Monster Hunter. It's the gun lens one for sure. But regardless, that's irrelevant. The animations though, one of my issues with them, like not just being slow, it's that you can cancel them at any point, right? Instead of being like, okay, and this third upswing, I press my right click to cancel, like to go into it immediately after, it cancels it, right? So boom, right? I cancel my third and I went to my right click instead. I don't like that. I wish I could just queue it up in a normal attack string, right? If I'm clicking the left click there, then it should go through. It should make me do the left click, okay? Canceling stuff is always nice, but there's a limit, right? There's a limit, and sometimes you don't want stuff to be cancelable. So that's my kind of ick, because switching between characters is so smooth, right? And I have another issue with switching characters as well, but I'm going to cover that when I actually get to the full combat. But yeah, animation wise, it's like moves themselves are fine, right? If I switch her back to her sword shield one, and I show her ult there, which I like a lot, it's pretty, right? She goes into her demon form because it's the 4 Coagula, and then she does this. Okay, I like this. This is cool. Right? The animations are fine. Slater as well. He just does his Grand Cross ult, which is sort of cool. And so animations like that are fine. But like running and stuff and dashing in battle feels super choppy, super clunky. Like I said, like sometimes finishing the animations and stuff is kind of annoying. I actually really like her enhanced normals. I think that's pretty cool. But again, there's a bunch of stuff I want to say about this as well once I get to combat. But visually, the game is great. Now, there's gear and stuff in the game as well that I'm not going to get too much into. But they have sets as well. Like, I have the Burning Heart. I have 3 to 7 pieces right now. On 2 pieces, you get crit chance. 4 piece, you get burst efficiency, and activating a burst restores the magic gauge by 400, which bursts are breaking the opponent, essentially. So, which is when you do damage. Like most bosses, or if not every boss, actually even in the normal enemies, they have this orb next to them, and once it breaks, you do more damage and they get stunned or whatever in most cases. But again, that's for later. But there is gear, right? And it buffs you. There's defense gears. There's like buff gear right now in the game. But I don't want to talk about the game, like the gear stuff too much. It seems fairly straightforward. You buff it by leveling it up. It gives you extra stats. They seem to be random. Like, it's not like every boot it's going to give you a defense increase. Oh, it does? Well, we'll see. There's one where I saw different ones. Yeah, this one, like the belt, right? Healing efficiency and defense increase. It's different, right? It might depend on what type it is, right? There's an adventurous belt, so maybe this one just gives you basic stats like defense, and then this one gives you healing efficiency because it's a blessed belt, right? It highly likely this is the case. But that's fine, right? But this gets me to another point of the game I really don't like, and it's something I was hoping for, and even though I knew about, I was still hoping for that you just scrap it. Stats. There are way too many. Way too many stats, and way too many stats you can get in gear and you can increase and everything, and that they mention. I don't want accuracy in the game, right? I don't want like accuracy in the game. Crit resistance is a horrible game as well. Defense shatter and shatter resistance is so like, just take both of these out. Right? I think both of these like just like useless. Just have a very basic stats that you could aim for, right? And then you have fire attack, and you have well, this is physical, but you have burst efficiency, and then you have these, and you can get all these from different things, and characters mention all these different things, and they also have their own buffs, and it's just not fun to look at or even build. Like, even when I was just figuring out every character, I was figuring out how to play the rotations properly instead of just holding forward. You go on the character, and it's like, you saw all these stats now. If I go to this guy, he will do darkness burst, whatever. Where is it? Where's the debuff that he has? Oh. Yeah, well, decoy stealth stuff, yeah. a curse. This one might not be the best character to show it from, but every character has like their own little things that they apply, and then there's debuffs in the game as well that they don't make, like, obviously are in the stats. There are all sorts of different debuffs as well, which I think there's way too many of, as well. It's just bloated with different types of stats. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. I wish it wasn't like this. Okay, I wish I wouldn't go on like I don't have it right now because I had to trade it in for something, but I had gear with like blocking defense up, right? I don't want my block defense to go up. I don't care. Give me defense, right? Let me play around normal real stats. I don't want to have, you know, all sorts of different stats I have to worry about, and then all sorts of different stats I can roll on like gear or something. I don't like that. I think that's just that's horrible. That's a horrible thing. I don't like it in Grand Cross. I don't like how many stats we have in Grand Cross that are useless. Now we can just get to combat now. I'm gonna have stuff playing at the end, or like stuff while I'm talking, hopefully, so you see some stuff. But I want to explain the combat right now. If we look at my team, the way my team is composed is this character. I assume anyone that's read the characters has her on their team, because her skill makes it so everyone gets 30 crit damage for 15 seconds. The punishment stuff works because if they have punishment, then right, if I hit them with this, then because of her passive, my ultimate will do 30% more damage, right? So that's great too. And this is all universal, right? Which I assume anyone that has her would all just have her on the team. And then her ultimate also lowers all element defense by 20% for 30 seconds. Okay, which is very good, because rotations in this game take a long time sometimes, because you have to dodge, and also animations, like I said, are horrible. So, you know, it can get in the way. So having that is good. I haven't read her other stuff. I'm pretty sure these are both just DPS ones though. But you can switch freely between them. Do I like it? No. I thought I liked it when I first looked at it. I was like, okay, cool. You can just have different kits and everything, and it's like, it's cool, right? Like Slater on nunchucks, if I switch him to nunchucks, he's a support, sort of, right? He's like a sub DPS support, right? His ultimate buffs people switching, like the damage you do when they switch, when you do this, when this is charged up, the damage you do with it, right? So that's pretty cool, you know. It's pretty, you know, whatever. But what I don't like is that the weapons you have equipped all give you stats. Okay, so unequipped items only grant 30% of their effects. That's fine. Or like that, well, that's not fine, but you know, it's 30%. Oh, whatever. Yeah, that means that anyone that's gonna have like a fully, you know, you're gonna have 3 different 5-stars on this character. Now you need, well, let's say you have a sword, a 3-star sword, a 3-star nunchucks, and a 3-star axe, right? You put them all on Slater because he's like your main DPS on the team. Okay, so having like a character, like let's say I you know, I have her and she wants nunchucks or something, then it doesn't work. Because he's occupying them. My initial thought was, okay, you just pick the weapon you want. So let's say I want to have this guy on the greatsword. I keep him on the greatsword, and I give the axe and the nunchucks to other people. But no, you want them on him because you want more stats on him. Okay, and then that's gonna make it. And with the rates of the game aren't good either. So having that plus the rates not being good, you're gonna have like 50 different 5-star weapons to deck out your whole team. And 4-star weapons seem fine. You can craft some weapons. But that's like telling people in like a Genshin, Wuwa, Star or whatever to use 4-star weapons, 4-star light cones, whatever, as well. And it's like, you know, people do it. A lot of them, you know, sometimes they're really good, but it's not like the 5-star ones are so good you don't want to give them up, right? So as much as you want to cope, you're like, yeah, I'm just going to equip 4-stars on my support or whatever. No, you probably want the 5-star support weapon that says when you hit an enemy with this, increase the entire team's attack by 100%. And then you want the other stats to buff her up as well, because she scales of attacks. She wants a bunch of attack from her weapons. Something like this, right? It's going to be a problem. Like, no matter how much we cope, it's going to be a ginormous problem in the future. And everyone, when we saw that people have 3 weapons, immediately thought, oh god, this is going to be horrible. And I was coping, thinking it's going to be good. When I got into this game now and I actually played it, I was like, okay, I like this. And then now that I'm seeing all the stats and everything and how much characters scale things, I don't like it. And I'm not, I wish it wasn't a thing. But other than that, the concept of having characters that can fill different slots, I do like it. I just wish the stats, like this whole thing, delete this line, I think the system's fine. Okay, because you can switch freely and it's cool, right? I like it. I think it's very cool, and they have different, like, completely different skills. Right, this guy is a fire attacker, and in this he's a physical. In X he's a physical attacker that does bleed, right? It's cool, right? I think it's very cool. And then in Nunchuck, he does, like I said, he does a tag skill damage by 40% for 10 seconds, and then he does some damage, right? But that's like whatever. And he increases your burst rate, right? He fills up your ultimate. Like, it's cool. The burst rate is not the ultimate, but that's cool. I like the whole like different things, right? But yeah, I'm gonna do one fight. I'm gonna call it for the first impressions. I saw this guy. I was trying to fight someone else. I was trying to fight the guy in the water. Where is he? Not this guy. There's someone else. But I couldn't get him to spawn again. Not this guy either. But I couldn't get him to spawn again, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just die then. I can fight Red Demon, I suppose. But I think he might die too quick. We'll see. The overall bosses, because I'm level 2, are a bit tankier than the easy Red Demon. And normal Red Demon, as far as I'm concerned, the jump between stats is too crazy. I fought someone else real quick to get a set item, but the fight is very unspectacular. So I thought, okay, Red Demon at least does stuff, so we can watch him. So boom, right? I go into her, shield, well, get the berry up. And then she has this skill, which I wish I could just switch out and have her like still be in there, but you can't do that. Set up the field. I will ult with her already, actually. You see on the top right the fire bar. That's what we're trying to increase right now. Right now my shield is broken, but we can go back into her. Right, he's been bursted. Right, I go into her. I do this skill which decreases defense, and then he just dies here, I think. Say boom, and then boom. Yeah, he's dead. That's the idea of my team. I can go through it quick. I think I didn't show everything earlier, but it's she decreases fire defense by this with every hit, increase damage by 5% every 5 attacks enemies affected by combustion, and with this skill, I didn't think you could switch out while you do it, but you can, right? Like I was doing it. I thought you had to sit in there and then switch out, and you have 5 seconds for debuff. You can just switch out and then attack, right? So I like her. I think she's a great support, also great for traversal. GALAND on increasing fire attacks really got nice. Giving you the shields really nice. This ult does good damage too, and increases fire damage taken by enemies. I used the sword one for a while because I thought it was really fun, but demon form is just so horrible. Like demon form is just so horrible. You can't switch out during it. If you could switch out during it, stay into it, you switch back to her and you could keep using it, be fine. But yeah, she just seemed like an insane support. There's healers and everything else. I used Elaine for a while. She's good. I used Daisy for a while. She seems good, but I think you'd want her on this one. Is it this one? No. It's this one. Yeah. Because this one, if you have Deanne, is probably good because it lowers earth resistance by 20%. And restores the magic gauge, which I suppose is good. But this one, the crit defense is way more universal. Increasing crit damage and crit chance. This is like the... I forgot his name, bro. Death Pierce of the game, it seems like. And she seemed really good. I thought initially I was going to use her a bunch. I did unfortunately, pull a dupe of her as well. I'm not going to get into the dupe system and stuff like this. I think that's for a different type of video. I'm going to show you some characters that I think just look cool. So... if I can make a new team. So this guy has Bennett E, so I'll show you this. And then Hauser's pretty cool. Hauser, you've seen the GALAND normal texture, and I'll show you the Hauser one. Yeah, well, whatever. Let's do this. I don't have any of like these guys' different weapons, whatever. Right, so it's different. But this guy has this right click, which if you fully charge it, you do a 3-hit combo that if you land it, you land on the ground, just like Bennett. But if you time it right, you don't. That's cool. Then his E, it looks kind of bad if you're like middle of a fight, but it's pretty strong. I think this guy is really strong in general. This guy seems really insane. Dreyfus, I actually haven't used myself. Oh, well, he's the same. Wait, they didn't change the stuff. Guild Hunter actually looked pretty cool. Because yeah, at the end, this lightning strike he does at the end of his normal attack combo, I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty swaggy. and he has this move. And his overworld ability is this. You don't really like, you don't use this for enemies. You use this for like mechanics and stuff. I think him chucking spears is pretty cool. His ultimate I haven't seen myself. That's pretty lame. Okay, I thought we'd like more. Yeah, Dreyfus, I'm kind of disappointed. Now Hauser is pretty cool. Hauser, I also thought I was going to use a bunch at the start, and then I ended up just going to a fire team. But why is his stuff 10 times the speed of Gila and also way cooler and bigger, right? Hauser is really cool. Hauser might be the coolest. Like Meli honestly is probably the coolest character we have in this game. I think Jericho's really cool. I don't have her. A friend of mine has her. But I can't, like, he hasn't, like, he's more so focused on like grinding the game, not trying to figure out stuff in the team. So I haven't seen her in like full action. But Hauser is so cool. Like Hauser, everything about Hauser is so cool. I just didn't have any win support, so I just went to the fire team. The fire team they essentially give you, they give you Slater. I did pull him again. Gila they also give you, and I have a dupe for her as well. That I didn't feed him. That's good. Her I just pulled, unfortunately, and then you start off Teori as well, right? You get her for free. You start. So yeah, she's good. Hauser's good. I like everything. I don't have enough keys, which is insane, by the way. The stamina system in this game, I didn't want to talk about it too much, but it is kind of horrible. You have 35 keys. I would hope this increases over time when you ascend and everything. But right now, this taking like a whole day to recharge, to do like 2 events. I don't know about that one. Now it's quick to see if we can get Meliodas. I can show you the animation once. It's like this, and then the colors fly in at the end, and that's how you know what it is. Like it charges it up in a different color. So this will be most likely light blue. Not this. This I thought was it, right? You spin the wheel, because this is super suddenly since like obviously cogs and constellations and stuff. We have blue. It charges up blue, and then you see blue stuff flying towards it. Boom, you get blue stick, right? If it's a 4-star, it's purple. If it's a 5-star, it's gold, right? Which I'm not gonna get here, but you know, that's the idea of it. But yeah, there's some other system mechanics and everything. I don't think they're relevant for this type of video. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I like this game. I might make a second video at the end. I'm not gonna be playing it much anymore though. So maybe at most a summon video, we'll see, because we're gonna get a bunch at the end. But that's it. Good job. Game has some good things, some bad things. Hard to explain if you haven't played it. But yeah, that's it for me. Good job.